the belief to be a separate person based on the conditioning the mind has been fed with creates a huge database of I want this and I don't want that. And the whole life of that separate illusionary person is a quest to find happiness based on the individual conditioning in one's mind, what we think we want and what we like, and what we think what we don't want and what we don't like. That would go well if there would be not 8 billion other apparent persons on the planet that all have similar but conflicting beliefs of what I want and what I don't want. So when we sit peacefully in silence in the cave of our heart, all is well. But when we go out into the world, relating to other apparent people, we will find very soon out that other apparent people have other conditionings, what they want. And somehow it's very often in conflict what I want. Which creates in us resistance. If I don't get what I want, the conditioned mind reacts with resistance to the situation. And that resistance is the suffering. Ignorance of believing me to be a separate person creates a big no to everything that I think should be different in the world, in other people, and in me, in my own inner world. And throughout our life, we've piled up all these little and bigger and big no's to myself, to this, to that. The conditioned, ignorant, confused mind will have a million reasons why this situation, this person, this environment is responsible for my suffering. And it will seek for confirmation for that truth of its own belief, to confirm its belief of its suffering being dependent on this or that. That's the game that I call sometimes the game that we're playing with ourselves, the game of ignorance. So we could say ignorance is resistance to what is, and wisdom is welcoming, being open to what is. We have to see eventually that without resistance to the situation, without resistance to my own mind, to my own conditioning, there is no suffering. There might be unfavorable, unpleasant thoughts, feelings, situations in my life. Yes, they will come. It's part of the game. No problem without the resistance, with an welcoming attitude, with an openness. In other words, with a big yes to life, to all of life. There will be suffering. The big yes is my own nature. Every time I have a no inside to life, to my own mind, to anything, I'm going against life. I'm going against myself. Everything that comes into this created beautiful dream that we're dreaming together, that we spoke about last time, is already approved by myself. It has been signed already and moved on to create, to manifest in my life. If I understand that, it's so foolish to fight against myself or against life. Welcoming openness is the remedy for suffering. It's the remedy for the conditioned likes and dislikes in my mind, the I want and I don't want, the fear and the needs that just belong to my conditioning and not very rarely to myself. By a big yes, by a big welcoming, I mimic my true self in life and wash out my conditioning. Traditionally, this is called karma yoga. Karma yoga is not cleaning someone else's toilets. It may be if I have a strong resistance to that. But karma yoga is meeting life from understanding with a big yes, with an open attitude, with gratitude. Gratitude comes from the understanding that I see that everything that manifests in my dream, in my life, comes to me in the service of my freedom,